What's going on, you guys? Mr.CompBookC here, and we got a pretty, I wouldn't necessarily say a special video, but a video I've been meaning to talk about for quite a bit. I originally had this video with a script, and I actually had this recorded, but I thought maybe it would be, I thought the length of the video would be a little bit more, but it turns out it was only going to last for like 4 minutes, and I didn't really want to stretch out the script for that, so I just thought, hey, why not, let's just wing it and let's see what happens. So I think today's topic, I know today's topic is going to be talking about the Sonic community and why I like it personally. I feel like with the Sonic community, I know there's definitely a lot of stigmas to it, with the whole fandom and whatnot, and a lot of people associate them with like furries and stuff like that, which I'm not, but other people would say otherwise. My first 3 Sonic game that I ever played was Sonic Heroes for the PlayStation 2, and that port for that game is so bad, but that was my first experience with playing anything relating to like I didn't grow up playing Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 as much as I would hope to, but Sonic Heroes was the one that I grew up with. And the first 2D Sonic game I ever played was Sonic Advance 3 for the Game Boy Advance. To be honest, I never actually finished the game, but I think the biggest selling point for me for that game was definitely the fact that I was playing Sonic on the go. But I think what really cemented myself and why I wanted to even create content in the first place is the community surrounding it. It's very niche, but at the same time, it's very tight-knit to a point where a lot of other content creators know each other, or they know the scope of either it being news related or just making content relating to Sonic and stuff like that. But that's not necessarily my objective for this channel, but I'll get that into on a later day. But I think what amazes me the most is the fact that there's so many people that are infatuated with the series and the franchise, and not only that they grew up with it, but they do care about it. And I think especially Western audiences, and I think Sega is starting to finally understand that. Not just they've already known this for a very long time, but it's always been this untapped potential that Sega just they seem to just cherry pick all the time. I think a lot of fans could agree that they've always wanted to see more with this franchise, but they're not doing it. And I think as of now, as of late, they're finally starting to do that, with Sonic Frontiers, Sonic X Shadow Generations. I mean, just judging from that opening cinematic that they had for their quote-unquote prologue for Shadow, and just showing how much love, and that is the best part about it. But I can sit here all day and talk about what they can do, what they could not do, and all these expectations. But I think why I really wanted to make this video is to show, I guess it's just to really show my appreciation, because I don't think it's really said enough. There's been a couple of videos out there that was showing off what it was like to be a Sonic fan 10 years ago, 2014, 2015, 2016, and further on. And I felt like back in the day there was definitely a sense of mediocrity towards the franchise, especially when Sonic Boom came out. And then Sonic Forces came out, but that became very, very I think the best word to describe that game is just stale. And then there was just this long drought. I wouldn't even say Sonic Team Racing to be considered a game, because that's just a spin-off. But from 2017 to 2022, damn near 5 years, we hadn't gotten another Sonic title, and I wouldn't necessarily say Sonic Frontiers is my favorite game, but I think if it weren't for that game, not only just Sonic Frontiers, but I also think the Sonic movie, the live-action movies, definitely had a role to cement where the franchise is now, where they're in this sense of multimedia where they were back in the early 2000s, and I think we're finally starting to get a sense of that. And I think when Sonic X Shadow you can already just tell that the developers and the team and the people that are working on this game, even though it's a remaster, you can definitely tell that they're showing a lot of ambitions and heart, and they're willing to show this off and show to other people about this game, even to the point where they're allowed to play the game and whatnot. I think that's very fascinating. I think it just shows that they're very proud of their work, and I hope that in the future titles that they're considering or they're currently making, I hope they show more of that effort. They show more of how they are currently showing this franchise, because I'm starting to see every day people rejuvenating themselves and seeing like, oh shit, people are talking about Sonic again. People are talking about Sonic Adventures, or the Sonic movie, or maybe potentially a Sonic anime. I think that's what a lot of fans would see, and I think just by that sneak peek of that prologue that they've shown off in Anime Expo, I think they are very well off to be able to make something like that, and I think it's only going to be, and we've only seen a glimpse of it, not only like 2 minutes, we only saw like a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and we can already see that they definitely know what the fans want, and they're just not doing it. I definitely do think maybe it's because there was a lot of investors that didn't necessarily see that as a profit, but I think now, because of the Sonic movie, and I honestly really think it's because of the Sonic movie, and I think Sonic Frontiers is that additional oomph that Sonic needed to put, and I hate saying this because it's like, we've always said this same old saying, like, oh, Sonic's back on track, Sonic's back, and this and that, and we end up being put up into this vicious cycle over and over and over again, hoping that this franchise is finally going to get back itself on its feet. But I honestly think, with how things are going on so far, if Sonic Movie 3 does perform well, not only just financially in the box office, but by fans alike, I definitely do see the franchise just being, I think already just by this year, just this decade alone, it's already been 10 times better than what it was for the 2010s. In 2010s, we had Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, and then Sonic Boom, and then after was Sonic Forces. And it was 4 games that came out during that decade, and it was just all over the place. But I think, and I keep repeating myself, but I do definitely think it's definitely going to a point where I think the community is, at least for myself, and this is my personal opinion, I think the community is finally starting to see that, I think he's back. I think this is finally time that we can finally say he's in a way better place than he was a decade ago. Not this self-loathing joke or the butt end of a joke every single time. I think people are starting to finally understand that. There's definitely some people that are like, oh, what are you talking about? It's just like Mario, it's just for kids. But it's like, nah, man, it's for everybody. And I think if they show off that shonen, like, anime-esque type of Sonic stuff, I think that would be even cooler. And I don't know, I hope that really comes into fruition. I think that will definitely make things even better for the franchise. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think. This is just my personal thoughts, my personal opinions. I know it's not a lot, but I don't know, man. I just really like being a part of this community. I really like the fact that there's so many different voices. Like there's not one consistent voice. There's so many different opinions, so many different voices, so many different ideas, and interpretations of this IP that I think this franchise can go a long way, just as much as Mario is. It's always been this constant battle between that guy, but we already know that we're the underdogs, and I think that's what kind of makes it even better. If the franchise does succeed, it's the fact that this is a franchise and a company that is known for not making the greatest of things, but when they do, it's a classic. No pun intended. But I don't know. I feel like if there's support, there will be fans, and if there's fans, there will always be support. But hey, that's just my opinion. But let me know what you guys think below. My name is Mr.CompBookC. I'll catch y'all later.